Sheena Metal Experience right here on LA Talk Radio. For more info on the show, latalkradio.com, sheenametalexperience.com. Don't forget to email me and let me know what you think of the show. If you're looking for me online, it's so easy. I'm just at Sheena Metal everywhere. And I'm also the founder of a movement of peace and love and kindness and unity. We're at IamRaisingTheVibration.com and at our new nonprofit hub that I'm so proud of, RaisingTheVibration.org. That's sort of what kicked off the journey that you'll hear some about today, and hear about some of my wonderful friendship with the fantastic Belle Salisbury, who's with me here today, whom I love and adore. She is the publisher and the founder of Bellesprit magazine, which is so wonderful. So, for a long time, I had gifts in the spiritual world, psychic gifts, spiritual gifts, extrasensory gifts, whatever you want to call them. And I kept them very quiet. And then a couple of years ago, 3 years ago this March, coming up, my mom died. And I wanted to do something sort of to honor her teachings and her work as a spiritual being and as a human being. So on her birthday, November 9th, 2016, kind of a bit of a significant day here in our country, I founded a movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity called I Am Raising the Vibration of the Nation and the World. And I thought that would be a good way to sort of sneak out of the psychic closet and start using my gifts a little bit as a minister and as a light worker. And I started I Am Raising Your Vibration.com, my spiritual practice, and now launching a bigger version of that at SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. And it just kind of thrust me into this beautiful world of helping, healing, giving guidance, and I love it more than anything. So a few days ago on the show, a couple of really good friends of mine said, we want to come on your show and we want to do readings. And I thought, well, okay, we can try that. And they said, we want you to read with us. And I thought, all right, I can try that. I do that sometimes. I host my friend Rebecca Fearings. I co-host her show Dancing with Ghosts on Wednesday nights here at LA Talk Radio. And sometimes I do a little bit of that. Mostly it's her. Sometimes it's me. She's the psychic and I'm the sidekick there. So I help out. So we did this last week and it turned out to be this incredibly beautiful thing. Both on this show and on my weekly Raising the Vibration show, which is sort of the outreach of this movement, Mondays from 7 to 9 p.m. here at LA Talk Radio. So then Tuesdays is my Haunted Playground show here on LA Talk Radio. And my dear friend Jenny Stewart, who's a wonderfully talented psychic medium, and you know her from the Ghostbusters Prophecies episode of Animal Planet's The Haunted. I was looking for something to do on Haunted Playground this week, and I said, hey, I did this crazy thing the night before with my friends. Do you want to try it? And when I had done it Monday with my friends, they had done their own Facebook Live, and I was just here on LA Talk Radio. You could see them. You couldn't see me. And I said, let's try doing a Facebook Live through the station here, and you be my guest, and we'll throw it out there that we're available to help people and guide people and give some answers and whatever they want. And I loved it. So that is actually going to become the new face of Haunted Playground. But today I had a guest cancel. And I needed something to do here on the experience. So I called Belle and I said, what do you think? And she was up for it. So I believe now, if you're at any of my pages, we are streaming live right now. Also, any of Belle's pages, including her awesome group where we all gather, and the Bellesprit page and her pages. And so you can feel free to share this anywhere you want. So this is how it works. Skype is how we do our phone system here at LA Talk Radio. And they've kind of changed how they work. So I actually, in order to conference a call in with Belle, I have to call you. So if you're interested in getting a reading or a healing or some spiritual guidance or just talking to us on the air, you have to call me, text me at 818-437-0886. Yes, I just gave you my personal cell number. Please don't stalk me. 818-437-0886. Send me a text and let me know that you're interested in getting on the air. And as I get the text messages, I will be throwing people up on the air, and we'll be doing little mini readings, healings, guidance, whatever you want. Just make sure you tell me your name. And then as I get close to putting you on the air, I'll be sending you a text and say you're second up or you're next up, or we're going to be calling you, because I think Skype always switches what number we call you from. So I'm not sure what number we call you from. Our call-in number is 818-602-4929. So it may actually be that number. or it may not. I'm not sure about all the inner workings of Skype. I only know that to me, Skype is kind of like your crazy ex. If Facebook is sort of like your strange parent that you're always in trouble with and you don't know why, Skype is definitely your crazy ex-girlfriend, crazy ex-boyfriend. And trust me, I've had both. So, yeah. All right. So 818-437-0886. Now, the first thing I have to do is get Belle on the line. So Belle is going to talk to you sometimes, and I'll be working on getting the next person on the line. So from a video perspective, you're going to see a lot of this. That's me looking at my phone. So those of you who are just listening to LA Talk Radio and not watching on Facebook, you don't know what that means. But that pause was a lovely visual of me staring at my phone. So it doesn't mean I don't love you, that I'm not looking at the camera the whole time. I'm just trying to get people up on the air. So again, 818-437-0886. And the first thing that we have to do is we have to call Belle. So I believe I have to actually put Belle into the system and call her. I've only done this a couple of times, so bear with me that in some ways I still don't know what I'm doing here. We used to have a much different Skype system, and Skype has just changed with every upgrade. And I used to think I hated this, but I'm now finding that this is actually kind of neat, even though you all have to trust me to give me your information. It's neat because it's almost like I become my own call screener now. So it's work, but it's more organized, and we know who we're talking to. And it means that everybody who calls into the show is somebody who's come and specifically requested a reading, which is fantastic. So you're not just getting people wanting to ask dumb questions or people calling for another show or strange stuff. And I know we've got some calls coming in right now, and I'm so excited that they're already coming, and I'm not ignoring you. If you have texted me so far, hang on. We're just kind of not to that portion of our show yet, and don't worry about it because I will be getting to you within minutes. And I'm sure that Belle is also watching. So if you're watching the video right now, Belle, know that I am about to call you. It's interesting every time I say Belle, because those of you may or may not know that I do a web series with my friend Patty Negri, who you know from many things, including Ghost Adventures. And our web series is called Living with the Dead, and it focuses around a friend of ours who's a 103-year-old haunted doll, and her name is Belle. So now that I have a friend named Belle who's embodied and a friend named Belle who's disembodied, and it might get a little confusing. Okay, so now we're going to call Belle, and then we're going to see how this works. So here we go, because I have not heard from Belle yet, and so we're going to call her. So here we go, and let's see how this goes. The nice thing I like about this new version of Skype is that you don't usually hear the ringing and the ringing and the ringing. It just lets you know when somebody's on the line. And I love that. So I don't know if Belle is on Facebook somewhere too. Belle, are you with us?
I am here.
Hi, honey. Welcome to the show. That was smooth and easy. I'm still learning this new Skype. Are you on video somewhere, or are you just on audio with me now?
I'm on audio with you, but I have the show up on my computer so I can see you. I can see everybody in chat. Hi, guys.
Nice.
But I hear you.
Okay, so can I ask you a big favor? Because you're sort of my co-pilot tonight. Since I'm taking care of getting folks on the air with us, will you monitor the chat below the video? And if you see something that you think is neat and you want to read out loud, will you just kind of be in charge of that for me, since my eyes are going to be on getting our callers in?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
This is fun. We've done this the opposite way. We've done this when it was your video and I was kind of Skyping into it. And we've also done it when it was your thing and I was calling into it. And you've been here with me on many of my shows when it was just all audio. Yep. And you're also, I'm so honored to say, on the advisory board for my Raising the Vibration movement. And I couldn't be more honored to have you, my friend. What a lucky thing for me to have you as part of that.
Oh, no, I feel the opposite way. I'm the one that's lucky to have you. Thank you.
So let me ask you something. While I get our first caller up, why don't you tell me and tell our listeners a little bit about what you love about your gifts and what you love about doing things like this? I absolutely love the fact that it's healing. Yeah.
And not just for the client, Sheena, it's for me too. Because sometimes a client comes to me with a need that I have.
Yeah.
And so we're just sort of kind of healing each other.
Don't you love that?
That's what I like about this.
I had a
the
psychic
feeling
friend
is so much.
who used to say that every time you give a healing, you get a healing. And I love that.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
one of the most beautiful things, and I think it's so true. I get worried when I hear light workers, can you see my finger quotes whooshing through the air, say things like, I'm so exhausted, I had to read for people. Oh God, I've got clients, so tiresome. And people will ask me sometimes, do you get exhausted when you have clients? And I say, honestly, it's completely the opposite. I actually get invigorated when I have clients.
I do too, and it's like when I go on tour, especially up to New York. Hi, New Yorkers.
Hi, New Yorkers.
When I go on tour up to New York, I start reading from 9 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I don't stop until 1 o'clock at night. And am I tired? My body is, but my soul is so, and like you said, it's invigorating.
Yeah.
That I have trouble landing. I have trouble calming down enough to go back to sleep.
Yeah, and I find the more of it that I do, the more that I want to do. And when I'm doing something like this, or when I'm sitting in on my friend's show on Wednesday nights here at LA Talk Radio, or I'm, whatever it is that I'm doing, that has to do with me being in motion. When I was in Dallas speaking at a spiritual conference in September, I would be at the conference all day, and I would get back to the lovely person who was hosting me's house, and they would all go to bed, and then I would stay up and read for all my normal clients that were just mine up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I think everybody thought I was crazy, but to me, it's all about, Belle, being in service. And when you're in service, you're in service. And
But some shows, then do it.
yeah, and sometimes the more in service you are, the more the universe is like, oh, are you on duty? Well, let me send you some more people. And that's fine with me, because I feel that, I don't have a family. I don't have a spouse or kids, or I have a cat. And today I took her to the vet. So today I was off from clients because I took my cat to the vet. But that's that. I have friends, but they have their own family. So I feel like sort of part of my family is for me to be in service to people. And because I can step out of a party and take a call, or I can put down what I'm doing and take a call, that I'm the person that's around. I can, on a holiday, walk out of a friend's house and talk to somebody in need. That's just sort of where I'm at in my life right now, that this is the time where the universe kind of wants me to be on duty a lot. And honestly, I'm loving it, my friend.
Yeah, yeah. And I've got times where people have called me at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning and want a reading. And because they think I'm a psychic line where I'm on 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, Sheena, is I do it.
I do it too.
I put a cup of coffee on and say, how can I help?
Aren't you beautiful? I have a newfound love for you today, my friend, even more than I knew I did. That's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard on this show. And I absolutely love and adore you even more because of that. So now that we've talked so much about being in service, should we be in service and actually do our thing? Because I think that would be awesome. Okay, so actually we're going to put our first caller is Candy. So we're going to get Candy on. And like I said, I'm still a little new at how this new Skype system works. So if it seems like I'm killing time while I figure something out, it's really honestly that I'm killing time while I figure something out. All right, so here we go. So the nice thing is what Skype does now is it'll be quiet until it tells me Candy's on the line, and then she'll just be there, so we won't hear the ringing and the voicemail and the Beethoven telling us that they're looking for the caller and all that crazy stuff that happens sometimes when you're calling somebody on the air, which I love. So where did you share it today, Belle? Where are we right now?
I have shared it on my Facebook page, my personal page.
Beautiful.
As well as in the Psychic Lighthouse, which is our Facebook group.
Oh, lovely. Okay. I didn't know if I should say the name of the group. I didn't know if it was public or private.
Hello, sorry to miss your call. Please leave a message and I'll call you right back. Thank you.
Okay, so we got Candy's voicemail. So Candy will probably come back when she's near her phone, and that's totally okay. We will get the next person on the line. Tell everybody a little bit about Psychic Lighthouse while that happens. Belle? Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Tell everybody a little bit about Psychic Lighthouse. I would love that.
Yeah, Psychic Lighthouse is a group that we started about a year ago in January, or actually September, but we really kind of launched it in January. And this is a gathering place for teachers and seekers. If you have an expertise that you want to share, if you have teachings that you want to share, then we want you.
Yeah.
If you are wanting to learn what you do, if you want education in what you want to learn, then we have room for you too. And we try to have ongoing live events every week. Somebody's teaching meditation. I usually come on every Thursday night and do a little education stuff. And sometimes I'll come on and do readings as well, you know, and somebody's always with Christopher Byrne here in the chat room. I love you, my friend. He's always on doing readings, and he's always posting readings.
Hi, Christopher.
His friend, William Earl, you know, who is an ER nurse, and he's probably working tonight because we don't see him in chat. So, I mean, we have wonderful readers, we have wonderful educators, and we have wonderful seekers. And so that's what the Psychic Lighthouse is for. It allows you to shine your light.
I love that.
No matter who you are.
I love that. It's so important that seekers and teachers be put together, because sometimes seekers become teachers, and teachers should always continue to be seekers. So in a lot of ways, we're one and the same.
Oh, yeah. I learn something all the time with every psychic development class I teach, with every mediumship class I teach, every dreams class I teach. I walk away going, wow, that's really profound, because I learn something every time.
That's so wonderful. Okay, so while we're still trying to find Candy, we are going to put Randy on the phone, because maybe everyone tonight's name is going to rhyme with Andy. It's going to be some kind of an A-N-D-Y name. That's probably not going to happen, but it's kind of funny because I just like things that rhyme and things that are alliterative. So here we go. So we're going to add.
Everybody loves spirit.
Yeah, we're going to add Randy in right now, and here we go. All right. So I'm so glad that you're doing this with me, and I so appreciate all my dear friends that are doing this while I'm still technically figuring it out. But I can tell you it's 100% smoother than it was when I did it earlier this week. Randy, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Sheena Metal Experience.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. You're here with Belle, and what can we do for you?
Okay, so I was just trying to get some information. Just recently I applied for 3 probation officer jobs, and just wanted to try to get the status to see where I was in regards to possibly getting an interview. I did find out through email that the one job they already have the candidates, so that at least two other jobs that are still open. So yeah, that's kind of just where I'm at with that. So,
Belle, do you want to start?
Yeah, well, and this is Randy, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, sweetheart. When you were talking, the first thing I felt was cut out the middle one because it's not available. So I don't know if the position that had been filled was the second one that you had applied to.
Okay.
I do feel as though you are looking in the right direction with being and is this a probation officer, you said, Randy?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Because it's like, my first impression was overqualified. Like, you have so much either experience or education that some people are looking at you going, wow, what does he want this job for? And are a little fearful that you might, just give up. Not give up, but what's the word? Not be happy with the job that you're doing.
Not stay long.
And so,
okay.
Yeah. And so what I'm wanting you to do, Randy, is I want to see you look up. I want to see you reach for that challenging job. Reach for the one that's a little step ahead of what you're reaching for, because you're undermining your talent. Okay.
All right. I mean, I did interview with this organization with adult probation 4 times. Probably four or five times within the past 2.5 years. So I have had interviews with them. It's just that 3 positions came up, and I was like, hey, I'll give it another shot.
Yeah. Don't give up. Don't give up, Randy.
No, Don't give up. I feel like, Randy, like the one that you thought you might get is the one you're not going to get, and the one that you thought you probably weren't going to get is the one they're going to offer you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does.
But the one you thought was kind of the shoe-in is the one that you found out the position is already available and you're not going to get that one. But the other one, the one that you thought it was least likely you were going to hear back on, is the one that you're going to hear back on, and you're going to find that you're going to enjoy doing that every bit as much, if not more, than the one you thought you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, you're correct. I do have experience working with people in the, that had issues with the criminal justice system. So the experience is definitely there. It's a lot of experience, 16 years. So I don't know if they look at that. The first time, the first few times I did interview, there was some anxiety and just being nervous, which I think that may have shown a lack of confidence.
Sure.
But, I mean, it's definitely there. So, do you guys have like a timeline that this possibly might happen?
I was just going to tell you, Randy, I feel as though as March rolls around,
I was going to say the same
your
thing.
window of opportunity.
Yeah.
That seems to be, and I keep hearing the word bait and switch. Bait and switch, meaning you applied for this job, but the management or the employer goes, well, why don't you consider this job? Like they're getting you in, but they're saying, hey, I think you'd be better off at this position. That's kind of the feeling of the bait and switch. Okay. So, I do feel like you're going to, I feel like there's 2 more interviews, and I don't know if these are for the same position or if there's 2 more openings that you're applying for, but keep getting out there, keep getting your name out there, because this isn't what we want, it's what the universe has in store for you.
Okay. So it's likely like these 3 positions that are open now, that they're interviewing for. It's likely that I won't get a call for them, for any of them.
No, I'm not saying that. Baby doll. I feel like that, and especially the one of them, I feel like he's going to bring you in for an interview and say, well, why aren't you applying for this job? Or maybe you might want to do this job, because it's kind of, the way I'm looking at it is getting your foot in the door, and then all of a sudden you're moving upwards, very quickly.
I agree. Lots of room for advancement at the one that you didn't think you were going to get, which is the one I think you're going to get.
Exactly.
The only reason I'm a little confused is because they're all the same position. Like they're probably in different units, which I'm not really sure which units they are. But they're all like the same position, just in different units, and that's where I can't really determine which job is in which unit, because they don't really clarify that in the description for the jobs.
Sure.
So,
right, but remember, Randy, when you go in for the interview, it's for the position you applied for. But it almost feels like they're saying, well, why don't you consider this position? It's like they're bringing you in on this interview, but they actually, the way you present yourself and your knowledge base kind of makes them feel like, hey, I think you'd be happier in this position.
Yeah.
I mean, if they offered me any position, I definitely would accept it. Just because
absolutely.
It's been 2.5 years. Yeah, definitely. So,
get your foot in the door. All right. Yeah, but I think that it's actually a position a little step higher than what you thought you were going to get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or it's going to be
You
soon.
deserve that.
Yeah, or you're going to move into something really quickly as soon as you get there. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. I'll be looking forward to it. So
you're in good shape, my friend. Keep the faith.
All right, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
We appreciate it so much, and we appreciate the call. We hope we can help, and we're just thrilled to be helping today. It's awesome, Randy. Good luck, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. Let us know how it's going. Stay in touch and let us know how it's going. What a sweet man. What a great way to start out. I love when we get guys, because you don't get as many guys, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think
They're
Belle,
growing.
I was going to say, do you think men are
they're
coming
okay with
around
it.
to becoming more into it?
Yeah. I think that at first, they think it's a sissy thing. Right, guys? It's a sissy thing. But I think that they they become a little more open
Yeah.
to, the spirituality of it.
I agree. If you want to get a reading live on the air from us, it's so easy. You just send me a text message at 818-437-0886. I'm Sheena, and Belle is with me. And then as soon as we load you in, I'll tell you when we're going to call you and when you're going to be next. And then you will be on the air live with us as Randy was. So we're going to set another one up and rock and roll here. And you have to send me a text, and you have to send me your name, because if we don't know your name, then we don't know how to bring you up on the air. And also, I don't know how to load you into the Skype program without a name. This new Skype, Belle, it's interesting. She wants a lot from us now, the mistress of Skype.
Yeah, I gave up Skype. I used to use Skype for my radio show, and she was pissing me off because it wouldn't let me bring in callers during my show. Did I say piss out loud? I'm so sorry, guys.
That's okay.
But,
I'll get another radio career.
They didn't let me bring on callers, and so I was like, I'm not happy with this. But then Facebook Live came about, and now you have video.
It's beautiful.
So I like being able to be seen and to see who I'm listening to. So how fun is that?
Now, do you like being on video, or does it make you uncomfortable to be on video? Because it's a lot to get used to, right? Especially for those of us who have lived in radio, where we're not used to being on video. It takes a little getting used to, right?
Yeah, it does. Because I do so many phone readings, Sheena, that if I do video, well, I have to get out of my jammies.
I know, me too. I do so much on the phone too. I'm the same way.
So yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way when I read in person places at shops in Los Angeles and whatnot. I'll do some special things. I do a psychic round robin once a month. I do different things, and I love to read with people in person. I do some fundraiser things, but I'm glad I don't have to do it all the time, because I love the feeling of when it's just two voices connecting in the ethers. I think it's a beautiful way to connect with somebody and heal and read and give guidance. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, absolutely. And our friend Suzanne in the chat room is asking, does this work for international client like me? Like being able to call in on Skype?
It should work fine. Yes, it should work fine. If you can text me a number that I need to call you at, it should work perfectly fine. 818-437-0886. That's the number to text me so that I can put you in the roster to get you on. So we're going to take a call right now. I can't believe how I've learned this. You should have seen the first time I did this. The first hour, we only took one call because I was trying to figure out how to do this, because I had no idea it was going to be this difficult. 'Cause I've been using this Skype system for 10 years. I've been at LA Talk Radio, but upgrades are upgrades, my friend, and changes come with upgrades. That's just our new normal right now in the world, right? So they actually
they can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Let me tell you something. This old dog is learning like nobody's business. So we are going to get Annabelle on the line, and so far this has worked really well. And Candy, if you're out there, we still want to get you on the line. Send me a text and let me know when you're ready to go, and we will get you on for sure. And here we go. We are waiting to get Annabelle in and find out what's going on with Miss Annabelle and how we can help her right now. It used to be when you called on Skype, though, you heard the ringing, which I think makes for the worst radio bell. So I'm so glad that's over. Hi, Annabelle. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you, Sheena, for taking my call. Hi, Reverend
Thank you,
Bill.
Sweetheart.
Hi, Annabelle. How are you? I love your name.
Me too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. This Social Security will not give me an answer, Reverend Bell and Sheena. It's going on 3 years now. Where do you ladies think that I am at this point? I know the shutdown and all that, but, where am I in this line?
Sweetie, I feel like you're going to be okay, but you got to get through this shutdown. And I know it's so frustrating, but nobody's even answering the phone right now. It's like calling the doctor's office between noon and 2. They're just out to lunch and nobody's there.
Yeah.
So, and you're not the first person. Actually, when I did this on Tuesday during my Haunted Playground show, I had a lady who was looking for a Social Security answer and had the same problem. And I had to tell her the same thing, that there's nobody home. So if you can be patient, I think we're looking at a couple more weeks, maybe the middle of February, for this shutdown to end. Does that sound right to you, Belle?
Yeah, I was going to say right now we're just we're having a battle of the bulls. You know, it's, to me, the way Spirit put it to me, it's a battle of egos.
Yeah.
And now we need to find the humility in order to be for the people, about the people. You know, so I do feel like that. And honestly, I think you're right. About 2 weeks time frame, Annabelle, to where the dust settles and we finally come to some type of an agreement. But for you, I do not want you to give up the fight, sweetheart, because you are, as Spirit's calling it, entitled. You worked for this. You're entitled for this.
Yes.
And you will get what is due you. So, I don't know, they say back from when you first filed, you're going to get what is due for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to keep the faith, sweetie. You can't, you have to stay in a place of positivity. And I feel like you've been really good about staying in that place of positivity for a real long time, darling. But you're starting to wear a little bit thin, right? On the trusting in the universe part.
Yes, but I'm going to hang in there. And I appreciate the encouragement.
Oh my goodness, you're going to be fine. And this is, you know what, can I just say really quick, if you don't mind me butting into your life, this is going to be a really, really, really good year for you. I know that the last couple years were a little and a little scary and a little not quite what you were hoping they were going to be. And sometimes it's easy to lose faith. But once you get past the first quarter of this year and all the bizarreness that comes with it, like shutdowns, this is actually going to be such a beautiful and illuminating year for you. Really, 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 really beautiful and illuminating year. So good things are coming, and it's a lot of good stuff to look forward to. And a lot of new energy of new people coming into your life, new friends, new kindred souls, feeling much more connected than you have been. And so you just gotta trust a little while longer, baby, because it's almost over and you're almost home.
All right. Thank you all so much for taking my call.
Absolutely, sweetie. You take care of yourself, and we appreciate it. And thank you so much for calling. Thanks for being wonderful and calling in and trusting us with your soul. Because that's really what it is, right, Belle? When people call in, they trust us with their souls. And I think that, I don't know about you, but I take that as such a reverent thing. Like, I take that so seriously that somebody would share a little bit of their soul with me. That means so much to me.
Absolutely. What trust, you know, and what an honor to have that trust.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I love that she called you Reverend Belle. That made me giggly inside.
I did too. That was sweet.
That was so beautiful. I love that so much. How long have you been a reverend, and how much of your spiritual work involves that, and how proud are you to wear that title?
I have been a reverend since 2012. And actually, I think it's been 2009 I've been reverend, but I had been practicing since 2012. I had a little small place in which we gathered every Sunday. It wasn't a sermon time, it was a group time.
Okay.
It was where we would pick a topic and we would sit around and we'd talk and discuss, because because I'm a reverend doesn't mean I have it all the information.
Right.
Everybody does. And
Sure.
so we would share and we would talk about that. And then everybody would bring a covered dish and we'd sit down and break bread and have lunch together afterwards. And it was such a social time and a bonding time. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. So now that I have relocated to North Carolina, I want to do that again. I want to get it started here again.
Oh, I love that.
I'm in the Bible Belt. I'm sure they'll love me.
Does that make it difficult, being in the Bible Belt?
Yeah, it does, because they don't really understand what I do in this area. But I think that because we have the military base right here, we have a diversity of belief systems. And so I think that I think it's going to be fairly easy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's are you looking to actually get in? Did you have before actually a brick and mortar space?
Yes, I did. Yes,
Oh,
I did. I had a
wow.
storefront.
That's
You
a
would
little,
walk
yeah.
in the front
Oh,
door, and to the left was what we called the parlor, and it was all decorated with antique furniture. And we had a little antique china cabinet with all kinds of books. And the books were for your reading pleasure. You could come in, pull a book, sit down on the sofa, and just read. Nobody would bother you.
oh, I love
Right in
that.
front of the yeah.
I love that so much. That is one of my dreams. Did you know that? I'll share a dream with you on
really?
the air. Should I share a dream? So when I
Yeah.
founded the Raising the Vibration movement, and you were so wonderful to have me on your radio show, be one of the first people that ever supported that when I had just started it. I did not know it was going to be a nonprofit, and I had no plans of becoming a minister, as you knew, because we were friends. In the summer, the August, I founded it in November. I got the universal download to found it in November. In August, I wasn't sure what to do with it next. I'd been gathering souls for it. I didn't know what the next move was. And I literally was in my car running errands down in Huntington Beach, where my other house is, taking care of my mom's house and getting it ready to rent. And I was driving into a Walmart parking lot, and I just kind of casually said to myself, because, when you talk to yourself, everybody, you're talking to the universe, because the universe doesn't know you're not talking to them. I said, I don't have any idea what the next step for this thing is. And the giant universal download starts. And I literally had to grab some Starbucks napkins out of the glove compartment and start writing. And the first one was, you're going to make this movement a nonprofit. And the second one was, you're going to become ordained. And then the third one was, you're going to launch your coaching business. And here's what it's going to be called. And here's what it's about. And here's what you're going to cover. And here's what literally, if you go to SheenaMetalSpiritual.com and you look at my coaching guidelines and my ministerial services, basically all of that got downloaded into me in a Walmart parking lot. And it's just lucky that I could go back and read what I wrote on the Starbucks napkin that I wrote on my knee, because it came that fast. I had no plans of ever becoming a minister. And 2 weeks later, I was broadcasting my daily show, as I will again this Sunday, from the Hollywood Improv. It was my 23rd radio anniversary. And I was just chit-chatting with some friends afterwards, and I said, supposedly I'm supposed to have a nonprofit now, and I'm supposed to become a minister. I don't know what in the world. And there was a lovely gentleman named Brian Carroll, who is now on the Vibration Council for the movement. And he was a friend of a friend who had come, and he looked at me and said, I'm the president of American Trinity University. And first of all, I'm happy to work on ordaining you. And also, I know how to set up a nonprofit, and I'm happy to help you in every way I can, because if the movement you're talking about is what I just heard you talk about on the stage, I'm in any way I can be. And 2 weeks later, I was ordained, and a month later, we were rolling on the nonprofit process. And when does that ever happen, Belle? Just out of the blue. I didn't know this guy. He didn't know me. And now he's become a dear friend. He's part of my Vibration Council for the movement, and he's sort of our academic advisor, because he's a university president. And I'm giving some serious thought to going back there and getting a degree in theology, because that's how much, for a little girl who never thought she'd be a minister until a year and a half ago, I got to tell you, I'm so in love with it, and it is such a part. So back to the part about dreaming. So my ultimate dream for the movement is to find a little brick and mortar spot somewhere that I can throw some church and open up something that's been a dream of mine for a long time, Angel City Spiritual Center, because this is the city of angels, and have a little church, and next to it a little spiritual shop with crystals and incense and cones and oils and all those things my mother loves so much. And also within that part of the center, Reiki healers and psychics and astrologers and numerologists. So it's sort of where ministry meets a new age spiritual center. And that is my dream. And then when that gets all settled and ready to go, then I want to go down to Huntington Beach, which is where I grew up, where my other house is, which is like the Bible Belt in Southern California, and open up Surf City Spiritual Center, because Huntington Beach is Surf City, and then have both of them, and then just basically live out my rest of my life and live to be 100 and just love people. That's it. That's it.
And it's time to educate. That's the important thing. It's time to educate.
Yes.
But when we talk about manifesting, Sheena, I almost did the exact same thing, similar to you. I had all my life wanted to have my own shop, my own little business, and so my husband and I had settled in a little one-stop-light town in New York, and we are driving home from work one day. We both worked for a bank. We were driving home from work one day, and I looked over as we were sitting at that one-stop-light, and there was a building across the street that said for rent, and I was like, wow. I said, what kind of building is that? And my husband said, oh, well, it used to be a beauty salon, then it was a hardware store, and then it was this, and then it was that. And so I was like, huh. So a couple of days later, we drove by again, coming home from work, and here we were at that same stoplight, and I looked over at that building, and I was like, hearing my spirit guide say, that's going to be your shop. And I'm like, yeah, right. And so the third day, we drive by, and Spirit said it again, and I'm like, hubby, can you turn by? I just want to look at this building. And so they had a number on the for rent sign, and I wrote the number down, called the fellow the next day, and I inquired about the rental of that space, and he goes, oh, I don't know, it's been vacant for a couple of years. How much do you want to pay?
Wow.
And I'm like, I think we need to talk.
Wow.
And so if you can believe it, we got that space for $300 a month.
Wow.
And 6 months later, my husband and I bought the building. And
Wow.
the Whispering Willow was born.
Wow. Then
Yeah.
when you relocated, sweetie, what happened to it? Where did it go?
We sold the building and we moved to Messina, New York, where we bought a 100 and I think how old was his house? Goodness, 106-year-old home, and began to remodel it, taking it back from a doctor's office back to its original layout. I love antiques, and so we filled it with antiques, and we took down the walls they put up and took it back to its original layout.
Wow. Wow. But do you think that you were sent to the South because that's where you were needed?
Yeah, because I feel like that Spirit has told me on a couple of occasions, Belle, it's time to rock the boat.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, let's do it. Let's rock it.
That's awesome. You're awesome. Should we take a call? Really quick,
Sure.
Before we take the call, let me just say that I kind of feel the same way about Huntington Beach, where I grew up. I'm originally from New Haven, Connecticut, but we moved to Huntington Beach when I was 13. And Orange County is something that has always needed a lot of work as far as spiritual diversity. I think I was probably in college, so sometime in the early 90s, before I ever even saw Hanukkah cookies in a store. I mean, there weren't even synagogues in the beginning, and when there was always trouble, bombings and things. Now it's much more diverse than it was in 1980 when we moved there, but it needs love and it needs help and it needs more of a new age community. And so that's why I think once we do Angel City and it becomes, something that there's a model for, then to take it to Surf City and do it there as well. And my plan has been to run my practice out of both places. I live kind of half time here and half time there and run my practice out of both areas. And it's, you have to go sometimes where help is needed, right? Because that's what it's all about. And
they're going to lead you. Spirit will lead you right where you need to be.
Absolutely.
Whether you like it or not.
Isn't that beautiful? I know, exactly. Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. And with that, we're going to call Vicki and see if we can add a little guidance and a little love and a little connection to her life. And I'm loving that all of you are here with us. Hi, Vicki. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
How are you? It's great to have you on the line with Belle and me.
Oh, it's great to be in with you guys. I lost my mom a couple of years ago.
So sorry,
and
Sorry.
It'll be 3 years, February 28th.
Okay.
I live next door to my parents, and I'm just lost.
Oh, sweetie, don't be lost. I know it's so. I lost mine just not quite 3, and I know, honey, that it's never the same once you lose your mama, right?
Yeah.
But I can tell you this: your life is never going to be the same, but it's going to be just as beautiful in a different way, and that is so much what she wants. She doesn't want your life to end because her life ended. And she wants you to know she's with you all the time, sweetheart. I mean, just all the time, trying to send you that message and sending you little signs so you will know that she's here and she loves you. Belle? Belle?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, and what was your first name again, sweetheart?
It's Vicky.
Vicky.
Vicky. Okay. Wasn't there a swing? I don't know if this is in the front yard or if this is in the backyard, but are there 3 of you or 3 more besides you? And I'm speaking siblings. Usually, when spirit shows me numbers, it has to do with children or number in the family.
Well, there's my sisters that live around that I see. There's 3 of them.
Okay.
And
all right, because and was there that swing set that you swang on or that you played on?
Oh, there's years ago. They had a swing in the tree out in the front yard, but it was cut. The tree was cut down.
Yeah, because it was off of a tree, wasn't it? It swung off of a tree. That was when you were talking about your mom and having lived next door to your parents. That was the first thing that was being shown to me was this tree swing, and what fond memories that came with that swing. Even though the tree is no longer there, the memory is. But some of the things that I kind of want to touch on with you, Vicki, is the fact that this is part of the information that's in a book that I've been writing. And, I had a spirit guide that has helped me with the writing of this book, many guides actually, but the one that I'm referencing is the chapter that I called Heaven. And there was a spirit guide who came in, and I dubbed him the professor because of the way he dressed. He seemed to have come from like the 1940s, and he had the 3-piece suit. He's got his thumbs tucked inside the vest. And he says to me, "Let me ask you a question." And that's kind of how he talked. So that's why I think I dubbed him the professor. And he asked me, "Where do you think heaven is?" And I did like most people do, Vicki. I pointed up in the sky. It's up.
No.
And he looks up and he looks around and he says, He said, "What's up there?" He says, "Stars, planets, the universe, but no heaven." And I was dumbfounded. I'm like, "What do you mean there's no heaven up there? But where does everybody go?" And he said to me, he explained, heaven, you see, is not a destination. It isn't a place that we travel to. It is a frequency. It's a vibration. And heaven, and he spreads his hands out by his hips and he goes, heaven is right here. It's right here. We don't leave you. He says, our presence is here with you. He said, so you see, I've never left you. We have never left you. And that was what we named the book. We never left you. And so when you find, sweetheart, that you were thinking of your mother totally out of the blue, that's because you picked up that she was standing right next to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And she is so strong with me. I mean, she's with me right now, and I'm sure she's with Belle too. Like, we can feel her. And the only thing that makes her sad, sweetie, is when you're sad. She understands why you feel what you feel, and she wants you to process all of that. But she wants you to know that she's not gone. She's just connected to you now in a different way. And you still have a very strong relationship. You just have a different relationship. And she wants to be there now to guide you and love you and help you through whatever becomes this next part of your life now that she is in a different place. And it's sort of like when you have a best friend that moves away, they're still your best friend and you still can, Skype each other and think about each other and know when you're thinking about each other. You're just not in the same room anymore. And that's what it's like. Yeah. And she wants you to not think of it as over, but think of it as different, and think about all the ways now that she can help you and will help you through this next part of your life. And she also says that there's a lot of exciting stuff, Vicki, that she's a lot of wonderful experiences that you're going to have that you might not have had when you were focused on taking care of her, and that you will now have because she now can go everywhere with you. And so she's so happy to be out of that body. She's a happy camper, sweetie, and her only dream is that you become that happy.
Vicki, who had the shoe fetish? I'm sorry.
My niece Jessica.
Because I feel like I have to tease her for all the shoes.
Well, my sister Kathy and my niece.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they both do.
Did somebody take her shoes, or did somebody give her shoes? There's something about either somebody took her shoes and has a pair of her shoes, and I don't know if they're wearing them or not, but she just thinks it's the funniest thing.
My dad has a pair of my mom's shoes you're talking about.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I think so.
My dad, he hasn't got rid of anything hardly. He had a pair of her old stinky shoes next to the bed.
That's beautiful.
They stunk so bad. I was going to throw them away.
That's what she's showing me, because I feel like she's teasing them about it. Get those nasty things and throw them away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were still beside the bed for a long time.
That is so sweet. And so it's just her way of showing that that she knows what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, while she's not there physically, but she is there spiritually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she loves that you have her things around. She said you don't have to keep her things forever, but she kind of loves right now that you have her things, because it makes it feel like the home is still hers, and she loves that.
Yeah.
Like she's not being replaced. Of course she never would be.
Yeah. I'll never. I want to go back to school, but I'm almost 58 years old. And do you see that being, I want to open my own business with my daughter as party planner. And my mom's always been my support, you know.
Yeah.
And
she loves that you're going to do that.
Don't let that stop you.
Yeah.
Don't you let that stop you.
Yeah. She'll be mad if you let it stop you. She wants you to do it.
She's going to be your inspiration.
Yeah, exactly.
She's going to be your inspiration, honey.
Yeah, your biggest fan, your first customer. Only she's not going to pay an actual 3-dimensional currency, but she wants to be the first one to glide through the door and wish you luck.
Okay, now who is Evale Powers? Is that your sister, Vicki?
Yes.
But she's joining in chat. Evale, thank you so much. She says, I do, and I wear them. She says, I'm her sister. I let my daughter Jessica borrow them, and she made fun of them at first until they found out they were mine.
Nice.
So see, there's that shoes connection, because I knew somebody was wearing, I knew somebody was wearing her shoes, and she was so happy about that. She was so honored by that. Thanks for sharing that, Evale. That's wonderful.
That's fantastic. Sweetie, you're going to be just fine, honey. You take care of yourself, and we're so honored to have you here, and thank you so much for calling in. And we wish you nothing but love and light, sweetie, and you let us know how it's going and how your business is doing, because we want to hear all about it. What a beautiful soul. Belle, this is fun. We're a good team.
Yeah, we are. We always have been.
I know. We've always been a great team, but we've never done this before.
No.
This is fun. We've always talked about
this mother was just she had lots to say.
She was strong, right? I can still feel her all around. I can smell her perfume. She was so strong.
You know what? I was too, Sheena.
Yeah.
And I started to say, is that me I'm smelling? Is that her perfume?
Well, if that's me I'm smelling, I smell awful good. And if that's you I'm smelling, you smell awful good. Mama smells really good. Yeah, she wore a really very distinctive, defined perfume, and I can smell it all over the studio right now.
And she didn't wear cheap stuff neither.
No, she did not. That's wonderful. All right, let's take another one because I got some loaded in. I'm a little ahead of myself. Isn't that great? I love that story where I actually load things in ahead of time. Okay, so this is Kim. And Kim, welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you here. And now we're going to get Kim on the line. Belle, this is a joy, and I'm so honored that you're doing this. It's the Sheena Metal Experience. If you need to want to get on the air with us, text me 818-437-0886 because we're going to have to call you because Skype makes all the rules and I'm simply here to follow them. Welcome to the show, Kim. It's wonderful to have you here.
Hi, this is Kim.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
I am doing well.
Kim, honey, will you turn your computer down? Because we can hear us in the background almost as loud as we can hear you, honey, and I want to be able to hear you.
Okay, I was making my way over to turn it down, and it's turned down.
Awesome. Thanks, sweetheart.
Hi, Belle.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm doing much better than last time we spoke.
Oh, good.
Good.
My question is kind of a two-part question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
One, what I talked to you before about my friend Thomas. That's pretty much where I'm letting it go. But every time, because it's very frustrating and it's very painful, but every time I start like stepping away, I feel my spirit guides keep pulling me back in and saying, but he hasn't learned yet. You're here to help him. And I don't want to close that door if I'm to give him a lesson. And the other thing is, I'm wondering if my parents, they're both passed, if they're around us at all.
All right. Sheena, I'm going to let you answer that first part.
Okay. Run me through the first part really quick again, sweetie. Because I was focusing on the second part. So run me through the first.
I have a long-distance friend.
Okay.
That's really not the best for my energy.
Okay.
And I've been struggling with it. He's not actually the nicest to me.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've been working through letting it go.
Okay.
And every time I'm in the past few days, it's like I get better and better. I keep getting, but you're not done teaching him yet. Don't give up on the friendship or whatever it is, because there's a lesson that you're to be giving to him. And I don't want to step away completely, even though it would probably be better for me if I'm to help him on something. But I just don't know what it would be.
So sometimes when the universe sends us a message, it's a little bit like a puzzle. And sometimes it's because the lesson is in figuring out what they mean. And sometimes it's just because the frequency at which they communicate and the frequency at which we listen and communicate is sometimes different. Like I could be talking to you just like this and it would sound normal. But if you caught me on a tape recorder and I was a spirit or I was an angel or I was universal message, I could sound really fast like this or I could sound like this. It's just the difference in frequency. So sometimes it's easy to misinterpret what they say. I 100% agree with what they say. However, I think the lesson that you have to teach him is going to come from you putting boundaries around yourself and you strengthening you and him learning, because sort of he can be very narcissistic, right? And very much about himself and very much about everything has to be exactly the way he wants it to be. And the problem is that he's used to, because he's very charming and he's very charismatic and he's very bright and he does have that ability that narcissistic people have to sort of dazzle those around them. Oftentimes he gets his way with people. And he's not learning because everybody is adapting to him and everybody is bending to his bad behaviors. So I really believe that when the universe sent you that message, honey, what they meant is he's going to learn from you because you're going to be the one to say no and put down the boundaries and strengthen yourself. And then he is either going to have to be without you or he's going to have to correct his behaviors in order to have time with you and to be able to have you in his life. And that's how he is going to learn from you. You're going to be the one that doesn't say whatever you want as long as you don't stop talking to me, like so many other people have. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And you're just strengthening what Belle and someone else has told me and what I've been getting. But I'm also very stubborn, and I don't like walking away from someone if they need my help. So I've been struggling with that.
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
I know.
All
Yes,
right.
Belle, now it's you.
I'm biting my tongue.
No, don't bite your tongue. Be honest, sweetheart. We're not biting our tongues today.
No, that's fine. I love you, Belle, and you can say whatever.
And I love you too, Kim. And this is, I feel as though this is teetering a little bit on ego. Okay? Your ego and preying on his ego. All right? We can lead a horse to water, but we can't force him to drink now, can we?
Yeah.
Okay?
No.
But we can take responsibility for our own drink. Now, he has proven himself to you in a negative way, all right? And and you've said to me he's not who I want as a partner. He's not who I want to be treated. I deserve to be treated better. But yet you're still going back to the yeah, but maybe I'm to teach him something. The best way, like Sheena said, the best way you can teach him something is to set your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually, the last couple days, I've done that. It's sorry, I don't have time right now.
Good.
Maybe tomorrow.
Good.
So
or you can say, I think you're full of poo-poo caca, and don't bother me anymore. Sorry, guys.
I like the first one, and I'll tell you why I like the first one, Belle, and I'm not disagreeing with you because I love you with my whole heart. But I think with narcissistic people, sometimes if you say, I'm not dealing with you anymore, then in a way that gives them attention too because they have negative attention and they don't know the difference. I think the first approach where he just doesn't get attention of, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I'm working on me, I'm working on things, I'm busy with this. Yeah. The best way that I think, as Belle was saying, one of the best ways I think that you can teach him is by him seeing the example of you, Kim, as a secure and happy person. Because he doesn't really know what that's like. He doesn't really know what it is to be happy. And that's why he treats other people so badly. But you show him the example of what it is to be happy, what it is to be strong, what it is to be a person with boundaries, what it is to be a person who will not compromise their own life just because somebody who's sparkly and dazzly comes in front of them and says to do it. You show him the life that we all wish we had the strength to live. And maybe he will learn from that and he'll correct his behaviors.
Love yourself enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love yourself enough.
Love yourself enough. I agree.
And I'm very much working on that. The past 2 years, I've done so much in my healing and recovery of letting go past that I don't want to go back.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
So, and this is, I'm just either, it's hard to explain.
And
I'm
going to support Kim, the fact that, that you feel as though that you are to teach him a lesson, because everybody that encounters our path, it crosses our path for a reason, whether we are to learn from them or whether we are to teach them. And as we've said, the best way that you can teach him is to show him that you're not that needy Kim that you used to be, and that you are strong and that you are enough without him.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that, because I've just been so unclear about, should I put everything on hold again to speak to him?
God, no.
Or should I just, no, I'm busy.
Yes.
I just haven't known how or what I'm to impart for a lesson.
Yeah. Spirit just said, Kim, you are the tool in this lesson. You are the tool for him in this lesson.
Absolutely, I agree. Absolutely. And another thing, yes, I agree. And your part of your lesson, sweetheart, is that two things. One is that you need to show yourself that you're strong enough, and show the universe that you're strong enough that you can get past this, because there are more things that they want to bring in for you. Beautiful things, wonderful things, but you need to get better, well grounded and seated within yourself in order to do that. And when there's a person in your life who's very narcissistic and is very much like a vacuum, in the sense that they're sort of hoovering everything out of you, including your chi and your life force, and you're sort of having to live for two people, because you're putting your own energy into yourself and you're putting your own energy into him because he's not making enough. You're like a vacuum cleaner that's half plugged in. You know, when you're vacuuming and the vacuum cleaner cord is stretched as far as it will go, and if you move the vacuum forward, it stops working because it pulls out, then you back the vacuum up, it plugs back in.
Yes.
You need to get to the point where you are securely plugged in with a grounded plug all the way, because the universe has so many cool things they want to bring in, but they want to make sure you're well seated in yourself enough and you're ready to accept them. And that's part of the lesson in this. The other thing is that you and he clearly have a soul tie. And the sort of, I don't know how a more ladylike way to say this, the crotch puncher about a soul tie with someone is that it's always there and you always feel it, but it's not always supposed to be what you think it's supposed to be. Sometimes it's supposed to be a friendship, an acquaintance, a lover that doesn't last. Sometimes it's a relationship. Sometimes it's the love of your life in this lifetime. You never know. But the trick of the soul tie is not to always give into it and think it's supposed to always be romantic love, and not always allow it to disturb your path and the things you're supposed to do. But know that it's never just one day you're going to wake up and you'll be like, oh, I don't even have any feelings for him. I don't know what I was thinking. Because that tie will always be there. You just have to sort of learn what to do with it. It's like I say, if you lost a finger in an accident, you're not going to wake up one morning and, oh, look, the finger grew back. I mean, that's not going to happen. You're not going to wake up one day and say, oh, look, I always thought I always only had 9 fingers. You're always going to know that you lost it, but you learn to live a better life, and just as great of a life without it. So you can't wake up tomorrow and expect that you're not going to have any feelings for him. It's just you have to decide inside of yourself what to do with those feelings, because you're 100% in control of what happens to you with those feelings.
Absolutely. And Kim said she lost connection, so I hope that you're still able to.
I hope you still, because I was on a rant, wasn't I? I was really going for it there, Belle. Whoops.
But it's true. I mean, Kim is such a beautiful person.
Yes.
And she has such a huge heart, and she would give anything for anybody. And when these people come along and prey on her love and her kindness, then I become angry. I become protective.
I understand, and I love when you become like a mama bear. I love that about you. I just want her to think of other things too. Look, I'm Irish. I'm an Aries, and I had a Scorpio mother. So when I was in utero, I learned the fine art of telling somebody to go screw themselves. But I also think that my mother...
get there with a smile on your face.
You know what I mean? Yeah. My mom had this expression like, so-and-so's dead to me, and they don't even know. They think they're still walking around alive. But I saw with my mom, and I believe that part of what I learned as we were talking to as we were talking to Vicky about, part of what I learned from the passing of my own mother was that as my mom passed from an embodied form to a spirit form and became kind of my advisor and my partner in everything, as she was when she was alive, but in a different way. One of the messages she sent me was, I know I told you that you should do X, Y, and Z when it came to people. But the truth was, there were ways where I sort of lost out on my own life by holding on to things and by telling people to go screw themselves when I should have just walked away and not let it eat me alive. So I'm trying to learn the lessons for the things that she didn't learn the lessons on. And one of those is that you don't have to always tell everybody what you think if it's somebody that's not going to listen anyway. Look, we're friends, Belle. If I did something that hurt your feelings or you did something that hurt my feelings, one of us would tell the other, hey, I love you, sweetheart, but this hurt my feelings. But when you're dealing with a person with a certain level of narcissism and they're not ever going to listen anyhow, it doesn't really help to tell them, well, you know what, just, go F off and I don't want to see you anymore, because it doesn't hurt them. They just think, oh, look, somebody paid attention to me today. So sometimes
they got what you're after. It's the same thing with the person who's the bully. They'll take good attention over bad attention. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter what kind of attention they get, as long as they got some kind of attention.
Yes.
Good or bad, they don't care.
Yeah, they just want the attention. Exactly. All right, so we're going to call Cindy right now. We're calling you, Cindy. It's kind of interesting the way this works, right? How you set the calls up. They know when they're going to be on next. I'm texting them. Everybody can see my little thumbs moving a mile a minute, and then we're ready to rock.
Hello.
Hi, Cindy. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful. Great to talk to you.
Hey, how are you?
Yes, I'm excited. I'm sorry, what?
Belle?
Yes, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cindy. What did you say?
No, I said I'm glad I got onto the show. So thank you very much for taking the call.
Oh, we're thrilled. It's lovely to talk to you. What can we do for you today, my friend?
Well, about 1998, I had like a pancreatitis attack at work. Ended up in the hospital.
Oh.
So about 3.5 weeks ago, I was on a plane to Florida, and I had this attack again. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was going to die, and it was the end of the end. So I'm back home again. So I don't know if it's GERD again or what. And I am going to make another doctor's appointment. And somebody there on that plane saved me. So I don't know if it was my mom and dad or what was.
Beautiful.
But I was just, if you see anything that's not a very good thing if it's bad, something bad with me, or is it not so bad with my stomach?
Belle?
One of the first things that came to me, Cindy, is that this experience, this reoccurrence of that stomach pain is a repeat of what you were experiencing back in 1998. So it's another lesson, if you will, repeating itself or surfacing again in order for you to, this time, let's deal with it, let's handle it. And because Cindy, you tend to be the kind of person that holds on to things, especially in the stomach area. That's where our sacral chakra is, and that's, feelings, emotions, and we hang on to these things. And you tend to do that. You worry about, you are the best mother in God's earth, let me tell you. You worry about your kids, you worry about their successes, and you worry about you. You worry about everybody. You worry about me, And,
I know. I was thinking about you.
And so I feel as though, Cindy, that, what's occurring with this bout is a repeat energy, a repeat lesson that you maybe didn't completely heal from back in 98. And so I would want you to revisit, what was I going through in 1998 that is possibly similar or the same now? And ask yourself, how can I heal that? How can I heal this energy? And be willing to release and let go of things that are no longer necessary for you.
I agree.
So I should see a doctor also?
I'm sorry, honey?
I should see a doctor also?
Oh, always see a doctor.
But always go see a doctor. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Always go see a doctor.
Always see a doctor.
Although some of us might be medical intuitive, we are not medical doctors.
Exactly. Yes.
So rule out everything first.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you, two things. Did they test you for pancreatitis is my first question. And then my second question.
That's what it was.
Well, I'm sorry?
That's what it was.
That
was what it was the
okay.
first time, and I had the gallbladder removed.
Oh, that was my second question. My second question was what was going on with your gallbladder. Okay. Yay, I'm a medical intuitive. Yeah, because the first thing that I felt was pancreatitis. The second thing I felt was your gallbladder. So you definitely were passing stones, and you definitely were passing stones that were affecting your liver levels. So I see there was a lot of fatigue at the same time. You were feeling very tired and a little lethargic, and that was because your liver was being affected. They should definitely go get checked for the pancreas levels again and the pancreas infection as well. Did they talk to you about your duodenum at the time?
The what?
It's your duodenum. Is that how, did I say it right, Belle? It's the thing that comes out of your pancreas. It's the little passage that is connected to your pancreas. And I wonder if somehow it got infected or something got stuck in it that was irritating it.
I get a blockage.
Oh.
It's your duodenum that connects your pancreas to your small intestine, right? I'm not a doctor. If you're a doctor out there, please put in the chat, is that what your duodenum does? It's definitely pancreas related, but it could even be that
is a nurse, so he would have lots of knowledge around that.
William, if you're there,
during the chat, we speak up.
Yeah, there's some kind of an irritation in that area related to your pancreas, and so. It feels like it's more than GERD to me, but it doesn't feel like it's a life-threatening at this moment thing, but definitely something that you need to get checked out. Also, you could really benefit, sweetie, from doing like just a really wonderful cleanse and taking some things out of your diet, like items that have like canned things and frozen things that have chemicals. Really cut the chemicals out of your diet, because for whatever reason, your pancreas is not happy about any kind of chemical or any kind of additive.
Yeah, pay attention to what you're eating. What did you eat that day that brought on that inflammation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Take a listen. To listen to your body. Your body's going to tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because right now, I don't know, because I'm on medication. I also have diabetes.
I was just going to ask you if you had diabetes too, and I didn't want to ask because I didn't know if it was my business. And then because I may be a psychic, but I'm also just a really well-mannered girl from Connecticut, so I didn't know if that was something that I should ask. But I was going to ask you about the diabetes too. Yeah, and I feel like you became susceptible to the diabetes because of this irritation with the pancreas, and also it works in the reverse. The irritation from the pancreas is coming from you putting non-diabetic friendly foods into your diet. And I am also a diabetic, and am now completely off medication and not even considered pre-diabetic anymore because I change what I eat. And if you ever want to contact me and have a little chitty chat about the good foods and the bad foods for diabetics, I am so happy to impart that wisdom to you, because if I had one dream, it would be that everybody would suddenly no longer be diabetic, because it's a killer and it doesn't have to be.
Right, I would definitely like that. So if you text me a number, I'll be happy to call you about that. But right now, I also can feel I am, burping a little bit still, so that's why I think it's GERD.
Yeah.
Right now, I just feel like both sides, left and right, are kind of like full or something in my stomach. I don't eat a lot of wrong foods because I do eat healthy, but maybe it's something. Sometimes I'm not eating correctly, but I feel like I got to burp a lot.
You know what?
Right now,
cleaning out your system and switching your diet is going to get rid of a lot of that too, sweetheart. Just keep the faith, honey.
Now, what do you think I should cleanse with or anything?
First of all, I think you should double your water intake. Belle, did I interrupt you, sweetie? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying juicing is very good.
Yeah, double your water intake. Juice mostly vegetables. You have to watch how much fruit you juice because you're a diabetic. And then double your water intake. Do switch as much over to just lean chicken, lean fish if you can. Yeah, and
I do.
Stay away from corn for a while, because I think your stomach may be having a reaction to trouble digesting it. Do a lot of switch your carbs like rice and things over to cauliflower rice, and switch your pasta over to zucchini pasta. Just as much vegetables, and eat an apple every day. Seriously, I started eating an apple every day, and it switched my kidney levels in 3 months in an amazing way that you wouldn't even believe. So
really,
an apple and cauliflower are both those kind of things that it's good for every single one of your organs. So
apple or And do you think it was my parents that helped save me on that plane?
I do, and I
Who was
also.
the first thing you thought of?
I'm sorry,
Who
Belle?
was the first thing you I was asking her, who was the first person you thought of when you were on that plane?
Actually, I didn't have any thought because I was in, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I was so nervous, anxiety kicking in like that.
Okay, but
So,
when you were able to focus, wasn't it your mother that you felt was around you, or my mom helped me? Do you understand?
yeah, no, I did it, Belle. I did.
Okay, it's usually the first person that comes to mind when you ask yourself, was somebody there? Go with the first person that comes to your mind. You asked, was it my parents?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
so somebody
so
helped me because,
my response to you would be probably so, because that's who you thought it was.
Yeah.
What did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I think my response to you would be probably your parents, whomever it was that you thought of.
Yeah.
Because that was what came to you. And that would be who I think it was.
I also feel like you got a little angelic help.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
There was an angel or something around me because the pain was so severe. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I had to ask the flight attendant for some water, and as soon as I drank that, it kind of subsided everything.
Yeah. Yeah, go see a doctor. Get everything checked out. But also at the same time, clean your diet up. Please do both of those things for us. And you take care of you, and we so appreciate you calling in, sweetheart, and we want an update on how you're doing. Please let us know how you're doing.
Absolutely. Love you, Cindy.
We're just helping and healing, my friend. I'm trying to get through some of these calls. I'm going to go right to another one. Is that okay? I feel terrible if we get backed up on them, Belle, because I just want to save and help everybody.
Yeah, and Candy has messaged us, and she said, "Hi, Belle and Sheena. I think I missed your call."
Oh, Candy.
So that was
okay, we're gonna take this next one, Candy, and then we're gonna take you, sweetie. So hang tight. We're coming. So we're gonna take Trisha's call really quick, and then we're gonna come and we'll get to Candy. So I sent you a text, Candy. So I'll let you know that we are on the way here. If you want to get on the air with us, it's 818-437-0886. You have to text me there. Text me your information. And then I can call you, like we're doing right now, to Trisha and get you on the air with us. I don't make the rules. Skype does. I just only am here to obey technology because apparently that's what we all do these days. Welcome, Trisha. How are you, sweetheart? Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Great to have you. What can we do for you? Meet Belle. This is Belle.
Hi, Belle.
Hi, Trisha.
I've
Hi.
listened to the last couple of callers, and I must say that the whole conversation with the one about the narcissistic person and knowing when to pull back and all that is something that I think I've experienced in the last few years with my father.
Oh, yeah.
And I did. I completely, in 2015, it was like something just snapped, and I had really I could not be around him. And then unfortunately he passed away a few months ago, and we still don't have a cause of death, and there's just a whole lot that's kind of going on with the circumstances of his passing and all of that. So I don't know, but I thought that conversation really hit home with me.
So let me.
Well, I'm glad it did. Yeah.
Belle, can I grab this for a sec and take this one?
Please.
I feel like I'm the Norma Ray of narcissistic abuse survivors. As soon as I hear narcissism, I'm like, oh, let me take this one. So here's the thing, sweetie. And you haven't even told us what your question are yet, but let me just grab this for you because just hearing what you said. The problem with an abusive relationship with a narcissistic person is that it doesn't always end when they die. It's something that you have to work through and resolve yourself of, because even if they're no longer here in the physical world, you can still feel like you're being pulled on almost from your solar plexus by the situation. It's sort of like if if somebody died and they had a hook was in your soul, and then, they were in the ground and you could feel yourself being sort of pulled by the grave. You have to resolve the situation on your side, irregardless of whether or not they're here in the earth plane or they've passed over. So you need to have some really good talks with yourself, honey, and maybe even work with somebody on a spiritual level or a psychological level or both that can help you sort of work past the sort of energetic imprint that your dad put into you just by being a narcissistic person. And so
I feel like though 3 years ago when I made that decision.
Good.
I've been totally at peace with his passing. The only thing that's unresolved in that is my fear. He had married somebody in December, and then I had only met her one time before they married years ago when she was dating one of his friends. And I think where I've got the unresolved with is my fear that she actually did something to hasten his death.
Right. And I was going to say, she was very narcissistic too, right?
Oh, incredibly.
Right. And that's the interesting thing about narcissistic people is that oftentimes they'll treat others very badly, but then they'll fall victim to another narcissist. I don't understand how that works, except that I do know that if you like your reflection in the lake and somebody is also a narcissist, perhaps they look like your reflection to them. So there's something about them that they find dazzling. But I have found in my work with narcissistic abuse support, having survived a relationship like that myself, that oftentimes that's what happens. That they'll find up their undoing will be at the hands of another narcissist. And when you said that about your dad, it was the first thing that I thought and that I wondered. I don't know that it directly had to do with her, as I don't think she put like a cap of Pine Sol in his milk or anything. But I do think that she knew how to energetically play him in a way that it did lead to him passing earlier than he normally would have. Belle, what do you think?
Well, I was thinking earlier when you were talking, I offer a regression, Sheena, that I call Write Your Story.
Beautiful.
And this is a regression that takes you back to a time in this lifetime, and sometimes it does take place in past lifetimes, but it takes you back to when a trauma first occurred. And it gives you the opportunity to energetically speak to the offender, to speak to that person, and tell them how you feel. If you need to tell them off, you get to tell them off. If you need to tell them, I'm sorry, you get to tell them, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you would be amazed at the shift that takes place after having done this regression, because it is so healing. And it's like you have that opportunity to go back in time and fix something. And the point I make is that you never change what happened, but you can change your perception of what happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can change how you feel about it going forward.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It's kind of like the Ho'oponopono. Some of you may have heard of that. It's an ancient Hawaiian healing process.
I love it. Tell us what it is.
What's that?
Read it out for us, because I get them right now. I'm so busy doing phone numbers and things. I'll get them in the wrong order.
Yeah. It's called Ho'oponopono. And there's 4 methods to this healing program. To say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please forgive me.
Yes.
What is it? I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Those 4 statements. And within those 4 statements, the first time you say this, you're speaking to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for my part in this relationship.
Yes.
I'm sorry for my reactions in this relationship. Please forgive me for my feelings. Please forgive me for my actions. And then you go, thank you for bringing this situation to me so that I could grow, so that I could forgive, so I could learn from you.
Yes.
And I love you. And again, you're speaking to yourself and say, I love you for having had the experience. I love you for your reactions. I love you for the healing.
Yeah.
So you're speaking to yourself.
Absolutely.
Then you go back a second time and you're addressing the person with those same 4 statements. This time you're speaking to the person.
Exactly. And I went through the same thing. I too had a very narcissistic father who was, just as my mom used to say, a real case. And I saw my mother, when he died, not resolve the situation with him before he died, and her constantly feeling that pull. So I understand about what that pull is like. I myself said when he died, and he got very poltergeisty and wanted to comment to every medium and psychic I knew, which was strange because we had no relationship when I was alive. My best friend likes to say he had a daughter for 45 years and just pretended like he didn't have one. I was like, you know what? I had a talk with him and I said, I took care of you when you were old. I swore I wouldn't. I did it for Mom. We're done. Stop haunting me. I'm over you. And that was just kind of where it was. He died in June of 2012. And then he showed up at a seance that I was at maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And he and my mom both showed up. My mom just shows up to hang out with people. Like, she's always at the seances. But he showed up, and I kind of got a new perspective on it. And I thought, you know what? I am going to forgive you, and I am going to be okay with this. Not because I want to see you in another life, because clearly I don't, but because I need to be over this. I need to forgive you so I can let this go. And I did. And again, that was part of the wonderful guidance from my mom of don't be like me, let things go. And I really feel like I'm going through this thing that I've talked about a lot on the show, and I don't even know if I've talked to you about it, Belle, but I call it the hatchet bearing tour. I'm going through and basically bearing hatchets with everyone there's ever been a problem with, whether it had anything to do with me or not. I don't care whose fault it was. I just don't want that bad energy lingering around all the work that I'm trying to do with the vibration. So I'm just letting it go. And one of the hardest ones was to make peace with him. But it doesn't mean that you have to compromise your beliefs, and it doesn't mean that you have to become engaged with that person again, whether they're alive or they're disembodied. It just means that you have to say to yourself, I no longer want the aggravated energy, the dust cloud that surrounds this situation whirling around my essence anymore. So, yeah, I let it go.
I definitely get that part. I don't have regret, but I do still harbor a lot of anger, I think, towards him.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sure, I get that.
Yeah, and that's where the my Write Your Story regression will help you. And you don't need me to do that. You can do that on your own. Just revisit the situation, and I do not use hypnosis because I feel hypnosis at some point takes away your free will because you're at my mercy. But when I take someone through a deep state of meditation, then you're fully in control, and you have that opportunity to control where you go, what you do, what you see.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Very interesting.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
And we're gonna shift gears just a little bit. I feel as though I'm supposed to say happy birthday. And for me, when Spirit states that, it's this time frame, meaning just recently or very soon coming up, is a birthday. Who has the birthday?
Trisha?
Not until my mom would have been April. On May. My dad was May. My brother was August. So nobody right in this time frame.
My father would have just had his. Are we talking to Dad?
Is your
Is
dad
it your
back
dad?
then?
Probably.
January 6th was
Because
my dad's. Epiphany.
they-
There's some
yeah.
irony.
That would be your dad.
Yep.
That would be your dad. Because it's this time frame when Spirit says happy birthday. So sorry about that, Trish. They're just butting in.
They always
And,
do. Between the two of them. I mean, seriously. My mom's wanting to help everybody. He just wants attention. Between the two of them, I feel like I drag them around everywhere to every seance and every spiritual thing.
That's funny.
Sweetheart,
Yeah.
you take care of yourself. What an honor to talk to you, and how lovely to spend some time with you. And Belle and I are always here if you need anything from us, and you let us know. Belle, we're both available for private sessions. We're both available on Facebook. You can find us. You can ask questions. You can find out what we're doing, and I'm just loving the way it flows back and forth between us, my friend. We need to get together at some point and teach a workshop or do a day conference somewhere or something, because I'm loving this.
This would be so much fun. We did a Write Your Story retreat in New York last year.
Oh, how fun.
And what a ball. And I still hear from some of the ladies that attended that are saying, you have no idea what this did for me.
Oh,
So,
I love that.
we need to put something together.
I would
We
love
need
it.
to do that.
Next time you do one, you think of me. I would absolutely love that. I need to go to New York and scatter some of Mom's ashes where she grew up the second half of her life
There
with
you
my
go.
grandparents. So I'm on an ash scattering tour.
Yeah.
All I do is bury hatchets and scatter ashes. Maybe that's the name of my book: burying hatches and scattering ashes.
I thought you said ass shattering tour, and I'm like, well, I could do that.
Wow.
You said ash. I got
Ash.
it.
If you want to get on the air with us, text me 818-437-0886. That's the way you do it. Then we can call you right now. Welcome Carmen to the show. How are you, Carmen? What can we do for you, my friend?
I'm good. Hi, everybody. Hi, Belle. Hi, Sheena.
Hi.
My question was, the past, 7-8 years has been so tough. I've lost my daughter.
Oh, sweetie.
I've lost my mother-in-law, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to know what was ahead for me this year. Please.
You want to take that, Bill?
I'm actually looking ahead for you. And what was your first name, sweetheart? Carmen?
My name is Carmen. Yes, ma'am.
Carmen, okay. I ask you that just because hearing your voice helps me to tap into your energy.
Yes.
So that I can look ahead. Do you know what's kind of interesting, Carmen, is that, we talk about the new year, January, Happy New Year, but energetically, the new year doesn't start until about March. I'm saying
Okay.
mid-February, but March is your new year, energetically, okay?
Okay.
And so for me, I feel as though when I get you into mid-February, early part of March, that's when, and I'm just going to put it the way Spirit is telling me.
Just say it like it is.
Your wishes come true. That's what they're telling me. So you have had, and I'm going to say specifically 3 areas that you have asked for, that you ask for help, or you ask
Yes.
for blessings. There's 3 areas. And Spirit said your wishes, and that's plural, will come through. So I feel as though, and I feel like I have to say this, life for you begins later than it did earlier for you. Do you know what I mean by that? Later in life rather than earlier in life.
Yes, ma'am.
So
I've
as
had a terrible life.
Yeah, but not anymore.
No.
And you have to start being grateful.
Yes.
Be grateful for that experience. Be grateful for this life. But when I get you into I'm going to say about the 22nd, and I don't give definites anymore, but roughly it feels to me like about the 22nd of February is when you're going to go, oh my gosh, this something's happening. Something feels really good. And then
Because I've been making changes.
Yes, like it starts to roll forward for you, and with each event, it lifts you vibrationally higher. And Sheena, you and I have talked about this before, raising the vibration of
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
What is the best way to raise your vibration?
Yes. Yeah.
Laugh.
And also,
smile,
yes.
listen to music, dance.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and if I may say, sweetie, if you don't mind, when you say you've had a really awful life, I think that now is the time in your life where you need to have a little bit of a perspective change. Because like what Belle was talking about earlier about writing your story, the story that you tell yourself about your life, honey, is I've had a horrible life. And when you tell yourself that, then you attract to your life things that are horrible. And the universe is trying to throw you beautiful things, but all it keeps hearing from you is I've had a horrible life. So sometimes it's just about something switching your perspective. I understand horrible things have happened to you. And I always say, I don't understand why the universe chose those things to happen to you, because no matter how gifted I am, I'm only a person, and those things are above my pay grade. I don't know. I don't have every answer of the universe, and Belle doesn't either, or we wouldn't have to be people anymore. But I can tell you that there's a learning in everything. There's a reason for everything. And so maybe now is the time for you to lay the things that are horrible that have happened to rest with love. Put them in a gentle place, like you would lay your favorite things out in a drawer and wrapping beautiful scarves around them, and then close that drawer and pull a drawer out where you're writing down or thinking about or focusing on the things in your life that have been good, and say to the universe, I thank you for the lessons, those that were wonderful and those that were terrible. Now I'm moving into another place where I want the story of my life to be. My life has gotten terrific recently, and please send me some beautiful things.
I know that it's all made me very, very strong, and it's brought me closer and closer to source, or closer to spirit.
Good.
So to say, right? And I have been working on honing my skill and helping others, because that's who I am. I'm altruistic. So I think I had to experience deep pain in order to help others through that journey. Is that correct?
Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
The teacher usually is the teacher because they've been through it already.
Yes.
And doesn't that, I mean, and it's not saying that we're, masochists of any sort, but sometimes we teach out of our lessons. But Spirit says to tell you this: you have already put so many things in motion, and now you are, as we roll you into the early spring, you're going to experience the fruit of your labor. And so we want you to look forward to that and just be so grateful for this beautiful life and for the lessons that you've gained that makes you so much better today.
Yes.
I feel very evolved. I feel wise, but I'm wondering, my gosh, can they stop testing me? Can this stuff just stop rolling for me now? I'm getting tired.
I know,
really tired.
I know, baby. I understand. I so understand.
Let me share an experience really quickly. I used to teach a little seminar called Stop Your Thinking Thinking. And in the beginning of this seminar, I would walk out on the stage and I would say, I am so sick and tired, and then walk off the stage. And leaving the audience going, oh, man, she's mad. Wonder what happened.
She's got problems.
And then I'd wait a couple minutes, and I would come back on the stage, and I would say, God, give me patience. And I'd walk off the stage again. And I did this a couple more times, and people by then are like, okay, what is going on? And I would come out on the stage, and I would say, how many of you have ever made those statements? God, give me patience. But when you ask for patience, he's going to give you situations that require patience.
Yeah.
Or if you say, I am so sick and tired, you're going to experience being sick and tired.
Yeah.
So it's changing your thinking, changing what you say, that will make a difference.
Yep. And you are learning, you are strengthening so you can become a teacher, honey. That's happening, and that's happening 100%. Absolutely is happening.
So it is real?
Oh, of course it's real. Yes, it is. It's 100% real. And you're going to be just fine, darling. And I don't want you, and it's like I said, Belle and I are here. When you feel like you're not sure why something is happening, reach out to somebody to a spiritual practitioner or a clergy member or a therapist or a friend that you love that you trust and talk it out. But I can tell you without a doubt, sweetheart, that the universe definitely doesn't want you to have a bad life. The universe wants you to have a beautiful life, and unfortunately with some of that comes lessons that we have to learn, and you're learning them, and you're getting stronger. You're going to help others through it.
Creators. We're creators. Let's create what we want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much,
That
sweetheart.
makes perfect sense. Thank you so much, love.
Thank
God
you,
bless
honey.
you
You're
all.
so beautiful. Thank you so much for the call. Belle, I'm loving this. I want you to come and do this with me more. We have time for one more really quick, and I know we promised that we would get Candy on, so I want to get to Candy really quick. And then anybody that we missed, I'm going to send you a text. Stay in touch with us, and we'll get you on the next time. Welcome to the show, Candy. I can't believe we finally caught you. That's great. We're wrapping it all around with Candy at the beginning, at the end, as it was supposed to be Candy at the beginning. Welcome, my friend.
Hello.
How are
Candy.
you? It's so great to talk to you. We're just wrapping up the show, so we just have time for a question, sweetie. What can we do for you?
Okay, well, first, I just want to tell both of you, I think you guys are perfect together. You're like an awesome duo together.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good energy.
Thank you.
Well, I had two questions lingering, but I'm just going to put it out there and see what you dwell towards, and next I know we don't have too much time.
Sure.
One would be about my job. I don't know what's going on with it. There's going to be a new opportunity. And two, I've been working on a lot of stuff in my spirituality.
Good
and
for you.
so I just see what you guys get.
Absolutely. Belle, do you want to do that?
Yeah, so I want to look at the job part of it. You said that you weren't sure what was going on, that there was something opening up for you.
Yes, I'm hoping.
Was that what you were saying?
Yeah, something new.
Yes,
I see something new.
But it's within the same company, because that's because I don't see you leaving the company. Do you understand what I
Correct.
mean?
That's correct. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was on that same sheet of music with you. I don't see you leaving the company, but I do feel as though eyes on you. Do you know what I mean? They're watching, and there's eyes on you. So I don't know if somebody has come to you and said, hey, I really think you should apply for this position, or if they're saying, we have something coming up, and we'd really like you to consider it. It's there. So I don't know if you have actually been approached, or if you're kind of getting that feeling.
Yes, I have.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
And,
this past Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, this past Tuesday, someone had come up to me, and it said those exact words pretty much. And I was just wondering, if it's a good substance for me. I've been around a lot of negativity, and I just want to be around tribe-like people.
Spirit just said, honey, be the change you want to see in that office.
Oh, all right.
Go for it, workplace Gandhi.
So it means, yeah, right? So it means that you're being put in this position to show them, you're going to school them, all right? You're just going to school them. You're going to show them how to be positive. You're going to change the energy of the office there.
Is that where I'm at?
It is
Yeah. And you've
Is that where I'm at?
And you've done that before, right, Candy? That's been a situation before where you've been the person who brings the energy around, and you kind of did that in the position you're in now.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Is it for this position now, or will a new opportunity?
Yeah, same thing in the new opportunity. It's always going to be you bringing the change. That's kind of who you are, sweetheart. You're the change bringer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's something brewing for you.
Yeah.
There's something
It's
brewing
awesome.
for you.
It's awesome, my friend. You are going to be in such good shape. And I'm sorry that we have to let you go, but we'll make sure to get you back another time, the next time that we do this and talk more. But yeah, something new is coming. How about that? I didn't even take a commercial break, Belle. We just burned through that 2 hours. Look at that. That's
been fun.
It was so much fun. I can't wait to do this again. Where can people find you online, my friend?
Several places. My website is bellesalisbury.com.
Beautiful.
And you can find me on Facebook as Belle Salisbury. I also have a Facebook group called Psychic Lighthouse.
Yay!
And it's not the Psychic Lighthouse. It is just Psychic Lighthouse. You'll know it's us because we have the winter scene with the lighthouse in the background. So, yes, our lighthouse changes with the seasons or the holidays.
Beautiful.
But you can find us there. Yes. So I'm all over the place social media-wise.
Thank you for being here, my friend. Means so much to me. If you're looking for me or any of the links for Belle or Psychic Lighthouse or Bellesprit magazine, you can go to SheenaMetalExperience.com, LATalkRadio.com. Social media, Sheena Metal everywhere. I'm the founder of a movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity. We're at IamRaisingTheVibration.com. We're at RaisingTheVibration.org. And we have a wonderful online community at TheVibrationNation.com. And then, of course, my spiritual practice is at IamRaisingYourVibration.com. And we're building a new hub, which is beautiful. And you can go look at it a little bit as it's being built at SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. Thank you, Belle, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. If we didn't get to you tonight, I'm going to send you a text message and let you know how you can get in the queue to be with us next time. I promise you, Belle and I are going to set another date up because this was so much fun. And it's the Sheena Metal Experience on LA Talk Radio. And you know what happens here, my friends, as you keep peace in your heart and love in your life, and you're continually raising your vibration. Here we go. Every Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 p.m., we lift the veil off the human sideshow and expose those big old Homo sapiens at their most bizarre occasionally, but most importantly, at their most beautiful every day. And you know it's my show, and it's true, my friends, it is my show. But what it really is, always and forever, it's your experience. Thanks for listening. Have a great night, and I'll see you all right here tomorrow on LA Talk Radio.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.